Well, folks, came home with a 2025 Darkhorse. I think everyone that watches the channel knows that we've got the 2018 Shelby GT350 and the 2020 Shelby GT500, and so went out and bought the one of the last Darkhorses, because 2025 was the last year that you were able to get the carbon fiber. But so went after that, also got it with the 6-speed. One of the things I found interesting though, I've already taken it out on a track day. It was 1.6 seconds slower than the GT350 that has all of the suspension get up, springs and all that sort of good stuff. And had the Goodyear F1 triple R tires. So yeah, it was a fantastic setup, and this thing right out of the gate, nothing at all, not even nothing done to the suspension, no adjustments, just literally off the showroom floor, and was in 1.6 seconds of the GT350. Quite amazing, actually. One of the things that I found interesting is that the Darkhorse with the entire suspension setup, handling package, comes with adjustable camber plates, and I tried adjusting the camber plates and they wouldn't adjust. So what I realized or found out is that the camber plates, as you can see, I've already adjusted this one, and I'm going to show everyone how to do it and how to get access to it. But those screws, and there are actually 3 of them are in the top of the camber plate itself. So you literally have to drop everything in order to get to those screws, and then once you remove the screws, you're able to then by loosening these 3 bolts, you're then able to pull the wheel back and forth, adjusting the camber to I guess about 0 to a negative 1 to all the way to a negative 2.5 is what they're calling. So anyway, I have pushed this as far over as I can go. So this side is done. Now I need to do the second side rather. This is the side that has not been completed, and this is how it comes from the factory. So for those of you that need to be able to, or need to want to adjust, I'm going to take everyone through the quick process. It's not too bad, of how to get to the screws, remove them, and then put it all back together again. So I'm going to have to pause as I go because I can't hold the camera and do all the work. So I will take the wheel off, and then we'll come right back to you. Okay, now that we have the wheel off, you'll see this is the front sway bar. So I'll point that out. This is the front sway bar here. You can come back, it attaches to a link which comes up. We're going to go to the other side. This is the bar and the link here. And here's the nut that we need to take off. Now the great news is that, you have to forgive me, I'm trying to do this at the same time of holding a camera, but on the back side is a 17 millimeter nut, which is you're going to have to hold, and you're going to need a 18 millimeter socket or open end, but I would definitely recommend an 18 millimeter socket because you've got a lot of thread to come off, so it'd be kind of a pain in the ass with an open end. I am going to be using a 18 millimeter open or a socket. There we go, and I'm going to need both hands, so I will pause for a second and then come right back. Okay, we have now removed the nut. It is, there we go. We've removed the nut, so it's gone. You can take the open end off. And this should slide back and out of the way. Now that that's disconnected, it's going to give us the opportunity to loosen everything on the top and drop the entire assembly. All right, before we loosen anything on top, I'm taking a second jack to jack up the rotor and the assembly. I want to take some of that pressure and spring pressure off so that when I start taking these bolts off, it won't just pop all the way through. So what will happen is if you don't have something underneath, this could be pretty dangerous. As you're taking the bolts off, it's all going to be pressing down and trying to pull away. So you definitely want to take pressure off of the rotor spring and everything before loosening any of these bolts. All right, I've taken off 2 of the 3 bolts. This is a 15 millimeter. And that is the last of the 3. What you can see is that it has not moved because we have pressure on the rotor and the entire spring assembly. Now we're going to try to slowly release the pressure on the jack. You can see the entire assembly is lowering down. Okay. Apparently, I need to, because the jack is now, I need to lift up the, I'm too low. I need to lift the whole thing up. So hold on one sec. Let's get a little bit of height on this. There we go. Wow, I need to drop a little bit, bring it up just a little bit more. There we go. That should have done it. Is it enough? Wow, I need to bring it up just a wee bit more. All right. Okay. All right, so now that we've got this thing lowered, you can see everything is open and exposed. Let me do this. All right, now that is the set screw that you have to get to. There are 3 of those. So I use the T-handle to access it. So this was a 5 30 T-handle. And what I'm going to do is move the entire assembly around so that I can then access it with the T-handle and spin each one off. So I found it easier to do it that way. In fact, I'm actually going to bring it up just a little bit, but also for the other screws, it's easier to go through these other holes with the T-handle to access the other 3 screws. I found it easy on the first one. Again, apologize about the camera light, but I was able to go through these other holes to access the other screws, you know, as I was moving this around to get all 3. So we'll pause for a second. So I've taken one of the screws out. I did want to show I am currently locked into one of those 3 set screws, and that is number 2. Again, this is, I'm going to do it with a third one, but I did want to show everyone kind of how I was accessing and getting them. Okay, now that we've got all 3 screws out, as I'm jacking this back up, I've got to make certain that we're lining up all the correct bolts. I'm out here by myself, so I really needed to use this to actually help guide the entire spring and mechanism on up as I was jacking up. And then once you get it into, started off in the holes, we are in good shape. All right. Now that they are all the way up, we will reverse the process. So I will pause and get all those tightened up, and then we'll go back underneath the car. Okay, now that we're back underneath, we need to reassemble our sway bar links. Unfortunately, I'm going to need 2 hands to tighten that all up. Okay, we have finished off. As you can see, it is far over to the right versus being dead center. We've got the wheel back on, so we can go ahead and pull. I'm actually just going to grab the wheel itself, give it a pull. There we go. So it's now slid over to the center point. So that's around town. Push it back, and you're back in your track setting. So, all right, I hope that was helpful for those of you that have the Darkhorse package and didn't know how to make the adjustments, but you've got to pull out all 3 set screws to be able to do so. Once you've pulled them out, you can go back and loosen these up without weight on the wheel, and go back from stock around town driving to track, and be sure to tighten all this stuff back up when you're finished making your adjustments. So anyway, hope that helps, guys.